Guess who's back? Back again. Conclave's back. Tell some friends. Welcome back to the Conclave Podcast. Come have a chat with us about what's to come and March's favorite person. Season 2. Let's go.
Don't adjust your settings. You are right where you need to be. Pull the curtains. Lock the doors. They can't know. They don't want you knowing. So pull up a chair and prepare. The Conclave is now in session.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Conclave Podcast. I am your host, Patrick, along with my absolutely gorgeous wife, Jessica, who recently got her hair done after I created avatars for us for this season, so there's going to be a little bit of a difference. Everybody, hey, thank you for coming back. This is officially episode 1 of season 2. This is fantastic.
Yay.
Took a couple months off. Thank you guys for bearing with us. It may take a while for you to hear this because I'm sure the algorithm is like, screw you guys. You were way too long. But that's okay because we're back and we will get the algorithm back working for you. And in the meantime, I'm a human from the 1990s, from the 1900s. Please be patient.
Yeah.
Please be patient. There's going to be a few things different that you'll see this season. We are taking a giant step away from the beginner stuff. All right. That was last year. We began, we learned, we grew. Hopefully you did too. And by now, they should know the basics.
Yep.
If we did our job right anyway. Which, this one here, great at it. Me, not so much.
That is delightful.
Right? And I'm glad you took a sip as I was picking up. So we are actually going to be doing tea for most of our recordings. And
good for the throat.
It's great for the throat. It's good for the soul. The company we're going to be doing it from is Hag in the Hedge, which is I can't get it to focus.
Is this why influencers do that dumb shit like this? No.
No. You're still not going to be able to see it because for reason the camera won't focus. However, this is from Hag in the Hedge. She'll actually be here with us in just a couple months.
Yeah, she'll be doing
as one of our guests. So this tea specifically is called Fiery Ginger Pineapple Green Tea. Got a little spice in the back of your throat.
Well, and I figured since we're doing a St. Patrick's Day episode, fiery ginger green tea seems to be an appropriate.
Yeah, that is right. We are going to be getting into an episode on St. Patrick himself.
Tinkerbell says hello too.
Our first appearance of season 2. We figured being March, that would be a good time to start off. And before we get into that, let's go over a couple of what to expect this season. So we decided that so that we could do more of a deep dive into things and not just have it be let's cram as much info as we can into a short period of time. Every topic is going to be 2 episodes. So every month is going to be 1 topic, 2 episodes. That way we can get a little bit deeper into it. We can get to it a little bit more. We have other, more guests coming in this time.
Mm-hmm.
We have, like I mentioned, Adele coming in to talk about not just her teas, but hopefully we can get her to talk about her style of research, how she finds everything she does, why she came to working with tea in her magical practice.
I think we're going to do a little bit of kitchen witchery too.
A little kitchen witchery. That should be a fun knowledge filled episode. We do have Lori Hauser, the Weed Witch, will be in. She's going to be talking about adding cannabis into your practice. We have an author coming in to talk about his very interesting theories.
Yeah.
We haven't fully finished the book yet, so I'm not going to go any more into it than that.
Well, technically, we have 2 authors coming in. Are we having Thomas on?
Oh, yes. And we have Thomas Mooneagle, who is a shaman that comes into the shop once a year to teach a class. He is an author of Drumming Down the Runes.
He has 2 books now.
2 books. Thomas, I'm sorry if you see this. I'm completely blanking on the second name of the title of your second book.
It's like the scary stories. Jana read it.
Okay. Right, yeah. I'm not going to still be able to remember.
I don't know where it's hidden in her room, so I haven't been able to read it myself.
He lives down in the Appalachian Mountains of eastern Kentucky. Kentucky? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastically knowledgeable and very gifted individual. So he'll be on also this year. And we're dropping the Am I the Asshole series.
Yeah.
That tanked. That tanked.
We will still be having the Ask a Witch episode, but that's because we had an extra week in like August or something.
August has a third or a fifth Sunday, so we do have an extra in between. So we're going to use it as a filler. So as like last year. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just because it's a filler doesn't mean it's not educational and a lot of fun for us to do. So please submit your questions so we have some shit talked about that isn't just us pulling it out of their ass.
While we don't have Am I the Asshole, we are going to have some episodes that are probably going to piss people off.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're going to blend our unique love of mythology with our love of history and our disdain of stupid people. That's a good way to put it.
Not just stupid people, disdain for grifters and manipulators as well.
Okay, yeah, we'll go that route because I think those main topics that are going to be in the potential of pissing people off
are ones that are utilized by a lot of faux spiritualists that are just trying to get your money. So we're going to go into deep dives of some things that...
And they've convinced people that bad things are good things, and it's just not right.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, today, as we get into good old St. Patty, this is one of those episodes that's probably going to piss off everybody, at least a little bit. It's gonna annoy some witches and pagans in parts, and it's really gonna piss off the Christians towards the end. So, if even just for that, it's worth listening to.
What are our sources for today's episode?
Okay, so
I like it when people tell me where they get their information.
I do have. Oh, you know what? I forgot to pop it on here. Hold on 1 second as I zoom out of camera to find my other packet where I had it written down. Here we go. All right. So I had it all written and then I revised it and I forgot to bring this over. So there is two main things of research and citing for this episode. And that's because one of which is a blog. I know that sounds a little strange to reference a blog. However, this person has a section, a reference section themselves with a whole lot of websites, and that in doing this, not only did I find a whole bunch of random websites that supported the information, the websites on this blog are right on there. So this is lairban.blogspot.com, and it's lairban.blogspot.com. This is living liminally, right? And you'll go to their menu box on the right hand side. It is my light keeps cutting out.
You're coming through fine for me.
Okay, good. In mine, it keeps cutting back and forth.
It might be
the papers on the
you're hitting
the cord there. Anywho, we're fresh back. It's been 2 months since we do this.
Yeah, bear with us. It's gonna.
Again, I'm from the 1900s. Please be patient. Anyway, so they have been doing this blog for many, many, many years. So choose the year 2017, March, and St. Patrick, Druids, and Snakes. All right, so that's going to give you a little bit of idea of what we go into on that. That's kind of the main one. From there, we also have sin.org. That's CIN. We have etwn.com. That's the Eternal World TV Network.
Okay.
That's the Catholic channel.
Interesting.
And confessio.ie. That's confessio.ie. Now, those last three come in one big group, right? And that one big group is the Confessio of St. Patrick himself. We still have his actual journal entries, his writings, all that kind of good stuff. So we're going to be quoting some of it. We're going to talk it directly to it. And that's where we get the historical side to a lot of this, right? Because it's coming from his own words. So anybody wants to come at us on some of this stuff, I'll fight you, bro. He wrote it.
And a lot of what you have in here are things that I've seen expressed in short form on TikTok by people like Morgan Daimler.
Morgan Daimler. If you are not following them, you need to. Please, please, please.
Yeah. So I've seen these expressed in short form by people that I trust to have the
Yes.
appropriate information.
Yep.
That never submit anything unsourced.
Exactly.
So.
All right. So now that we have that done, yoink, throw
Yoink.
those over there. Let's get into kind of the meat and potatoes of everything. All right. So just give me an idea. What do you know as of right now, or what does the general person know about St. Patty?
They dye the river in Chicago green and we drink beer.
Okay.
I'm not Irish, boy.
Okay, but everybody knows the base story of St. Peter.
He drove the snakes out of Ireland
There
or
we go.
whatever.
Right. He was the first bishop of Ireland. He drove the snakes out. He converted the masses. Chicagoans dye the river green, and other places do
I think
also.
Boston does too.
Yeah. Atlanta, I believe.
Anybody who has a river pretty much tries to dye it green.
Yeah, a river and
Except
a large
Pittsburgh, they're
Irish
like,
population. Boom, there it is. So in the States, it has become a massive drinking holiday.
hell hot.
That and eating corned beef and cabbage is like the two main things you do on St. Patty's Day. Maybe go to a parade. We'll throw three in there. You go to a parade, you get shit bricked, you eat corned beef and cabbage.
2 out of 3 of those you can do at home without risk of drunk driving.
I mean, please do that. Or utilize Uber or Uber, Lyft. Uber.
You try to make it Irish.
There's safe ways of doing it. So if you're going to do that, please be safe about it. Guinness sales are going up this month massively throughout the States, as I'm sure it is Jameson and Bailey's.
I saw in our local Facebook group, local page last night, I think it was like the Buy Nothing group, somebody left their Guinness behind at Giant Eagle. And I felt so bad for them. Like somebody went to get a cart and it still had somebody's Guinness hanging from the cart.
Okay, but at the same time, yay, free Guinness.
Yeah. Oh, no, bless their hearts. They turned it into the
I mean, I'm glad to know there are still good
customer
people.
service and then posted on Facebook that they found somebody's Guinness.
I'm glad to know there are still good people. I'm not going to lie. I would not have done that.
Yeah, I probably would have been like, woohoo, the leprechaun has blessed me.
Guinness ain't cheap. Okay, and that's the other thing. We got the whole myths of the leprechauns, the pot of gold, the rainbows. Great horror series, The Leprechaun.
Yeah, any chance to watch
rewatching it the other day.
Any chance to watch Warwick Davies do his thing is like
it's
a 10
fantastic.
out of 10 reason.
Also Darby O'Gill and the Little People. I remember watching that in school all the way up through like middle school every year for it.
Yeah.
You want to see a wonderful rendition of Sean Connery when he was like 4 years old. Not 4, he was 20s, maybe 30s, but it's from the 50s. It's been digitalized. It's on Disney.
Now I know why
it's really weird. The voice is like dubbed off in bad directions, but the old man Darby O'Gill catches the king of the leprechauns to get wishes, and everything goes awry. It's a fantastic movie. I watch it at least twice a year.
Yeah, Sean Connery in that movie lets me understand why his wife let him beat her.
Were you saying young Sean Connery is so hot he can beat women?
I mean, I'm not saying it should be allowed, but I get it.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, Jess taking a giant step backwards for women everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I mean, he's hot as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. It's 13 minutes in, and it's my fault this time. But yeah, no, Sean Connery. I mean, Sean Connery throughout any.
Sean Connery in general could get it. Like,
years.
I never really understood because growing up, Sean Connery was already old. I'm talking like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, but he was still a distinguished, good. Last Crusade.
Yeah, Last Crusade.
But he was still a distinguished and good-looking older gentleman.
Yeah, and then I think I was like, wait, that guy was James Bond.
Oh, but then you see him as James Bond. And you're like,
the ocean. Never mind, yeah. I get it.
There it is. And this is even earlier than that, so he's even younger and in better shape. And he's playing a.
He sings.
He sings. Now, maybe they could have found an Irishman for the part and not a Scotsman, but
yeah.
Now we're just pulling at straws. However, okay, so this is
our tangent.
Our first deviation from what we know as St. Patrick, right? And and I just Googled this to make sure I was getting it right. It looks like now in Ireland, and hey, apparently we have listeners over there. So if I get any of this wrong, please let us know, right? Part of my personal practice is trying to understand as much of Ireland and the culture as I can. So if I'm wrong, correct me. Um, Up until recently, it was not a party type holiday, and I actually grew up being told this by my family, who, while mom's side was Canadian, they're 100, it's 100% Irish lineage. Um, it's more of a religious holiday. It's a family holiday. Now, according to Dr. Google, sometime in the 90s that started changing, and now you do have some of the larger parties, bigger parades. I still don't think it's as much of a party situation as it is here in the States, but it has definitely become more tourist and oriented.
I don't know. I think your mom was just trying to like not give her Marine Corps son an excuse to go out drinking.
I didn't need an excuse. Did not need an excuse.
That's just it. You didn't need an excuse.
She thought I did. I'm not going to lie. Like, she still thought I was an angel. The number of packs of cigarettes that she found in my
I was
possession
holding them
throughout
for a
high
friend.
schools and early years of the Marine Corps before I, spilt my guts on it.
Smoking's bad.
I'm just one of such a. You can get in trouble. I'm not noticing over like the course of 6 years, every pack she found was the same type.
She's not that.
She didn't want to believe her baby was a cryptid. But So, there are even aspects of following in some of his footsteps. I remember watching a documentary a while ago on services being held at a specific hill that people would then have to, walk up barefoot and all that kind of good stuff. Um, but apparently that's changing. It's becoming more commercial and more um, tourist based, and that's kind of sad and unfortunate. However, a lot of what we know of the St. Patrick story is 100% wrong.
Yay!
Woo!
Mythology misinformation.
Big surprise. History is riddled with inaccuracies, embellishments, and just flat out lies.
Gotta make the winners look good, man.
Gotta make the winners look good. So, all right. Before we dive into everything else, let's do just a brief timeline of St. Patrick's life, right? So, St. Patrick initially traveled to Gaul in 400 current era. I'm not going to say CE or current era for all of these. If you hear a year going forward, understand it's current era.
If it's not BC,
BCE.
we'll say like if it's BC, we'll say it.
Yes.
Otherwise, just assume it's the common era.
Yeah. So he became a cleric and went to Larens in 412. He went toAux in 415. He was trained by Saint Germanus in 425. He sets out to convert Ireland in 431. So, he already had a good chunk of experience under him by the time he goes there. And this is just kind of like his life in the church. We're going to go over, there's a lot of life that happens for him before then.
And I'm assuming with St. Germanus, we're doing a lot of work with the Germanic tribes at that time.
No, I think most of this is taking place in
Gaul.
In Rome. Oh no, yeah, no, Gaul, yeah.
But like,
yeah,
Western Gaul would be
the Germanic.
Yeah,
or at the very least, maybe not with the Germanic people, but at least with somebody who helped convert the shit out of them.
Yeah,
which could be exactly where and how he learned how to do it to the Irish.
Yeah, so I was like, that seems like, oh, he's working with somebody who maybe did some conversion work in like Western Gaul, and it was like, I'm gonna go see if I can try it on this island over here.
Yep. So he participated in what was called the Great Council in 438. The Pope sent bishops to aid Patrick in 439. The Catholic faith of Patrick was approved by the Pope in 441. Both of Brendan foretold of Patrick in 483. And St. Patrick died in Seoul.
Was foretold by Patrick, not.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Bye. Sorry. Apparently I can't even read my own typing.
I was like, how would he foretell somebody who's already there?
Yeah. Sorry. And then Patrick died on March 17th, 492. 1,000 years before Columbus sailed the ocean.
I was about to say those ending 4 digits of the year are really bad for people being colonized.
Really is.
Like 492 is not a good number.
No.
I don't think I would get on a flight 492.
Okay, Whitey, like you have much to worry about.
I don't want to be one of them.
Fair. And then again, your Polish upbringing, their lineage, they were definitely taken over at least a little bit. So I guess so.
Yeah, like I'm all Eastern European and French. All we do is roll over. Not anymore. Poland is like European Texas now.
European Texas. They're just waiting. They're chomping
They're
at the
just
bits.
waiting
They're
for Russia
chomping
to
at the
fuck
bits
with
for
them.
Russia to do something. Look at them sideways for too long. Um, I don't know if I necessarily disagree with that either. Go get them. Little payback for your grandfathers.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so the stuff we have here that is life in his own words, right? This is from or sorry, that we know that he was born in Roman-controlled Britain, most likely, but unconfirmable, from Wales. He was a son of a deacon named Calpurnius, right? So his dad was clergy also. I mean, this is a fun place to insert this. So,
But deacons aren't necessarily like they're not clergy in the way that priests and nuns are clergy. Because they are
in-house. And I'm asking this for a specific reason.
well, because growing up in the church, we had deacons, but they were usually somebody of the congregation who went through training and was raised up to be part of the clergy, but not necessarily not having to do the whole celibacy thing. They weren't full priests. They couldn't do certain sacraments, things like that.
Yeah. Now, if I understand correctly, the deacons of the time still couldn't do certain sacraments. They were still just kind of like that assistant too. However, and this is important to bring up for later on in the discussion, uh, celibacy was not a thing yet. Celibacy
That's
amongst
right.
priests and all the clergy of the Catholic Church did not get instituted until 1123 AD, or sorry, CE. So
Oh, not till after the
hundreds of
Christianization
years.
of fucking Iceland.
Yes,
Okay.
it wasn't until then, and the reason being, this is where we're looking at like the beginning of the media, like the Dark Ages, right?
Yeah.
That was a power play by the church. It guaranteed two things. One, um, the people were a little bit more dependent on the priest, and therefore the money would have to go to him because, well, he doesn't have a family. We need help supporting them, right? At the same time, and this was the big one, they were real pissed off that their clergy, that their priests, their bishops, their cardinals would leave all their earthly possessions to their children
They
and
wanted
to
to
their
keep it in
family.
the church. They wanted to keep it in
They
the
want to
Vatican.
keep it in the church, right? Now, I'm not talking shit on the Catholic Church, okay? Everybody goes through dark times, whether you're a country, an organization,
A religion,
whatever, a
whatever.
religion, especially religions. Bad people do bad things to organizations, right? So this is just one of the darker times.
Anytime you have a power structure, somebody is going to come in and abuse it. We see that literally every day.
I mean, look at the Borgias.
Yeah, look at the Borgias. Look at the state of the world right now and the billionaire class.
Yeah. But I mean, when we look at like games on our phones, right? The time wasters. You end up stop playing after a while because it comes to the point of you have to pay to play.
Yeah.
If you want to advance any at all, you have to dump a buttload of money into it. They stole that concept from the church of the medieval times. You pay to play.
Mobile gaming.
Mobile gaming done historically, right? So this is the time frame where if you want to get married, you had to pay the church. You had to pay the bishop. You had to pay the priest. You still do, but that's all goes directly to the church now.
And the fees
A
for
lot of that
things
went
like,
into their pockets.
and the fees for things like that nowadays are pretty nominal.
Pretty minimal.
Like it's just basically space rental at this point.
Nowadays, if you want to go to heaven, make sure you go to confessional or have last rites right before you croak. You're practically guaranteed if you're Catholic, right?
Yeah.
Back then, you had to pay money. You want to guarantee to go into heaven, especially if you're kind of a piece of shit duke or sheriff or anything of the such. Well, you just hand me over enough gold there, buddy, and I'll make sure you get a free ticket.
Yeah, what was that? The like happened with like what Joan of Arc's buddy over there that was like famous.
Yeah. He was a serial killing, child molesting, Satanist piece of garbage.
full Marquis de Sade bullshit.
And Saint Joan of Arc's best buddy.
Yeah.
Until they found out what he was really doing, then erased from
Well, he
history.
supported her to the very end, pretty much.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but once they found out what he was doing and who he really was,
They were like, yeah,
all of
you
a
can
sudden,
go.
you're no longer in Joan's story.
Yeah. Disappeared.
All right, so
Going on all sorts of tangents today.
he was also the grandson of a priest, Potipus. Potipus? They're Roman names. I don't know Roman. So.
Potitus?
Pot-
Potato. Mash him, boil him, stick him in a stew.
See, okay, you're going to always go to that when somebody says potato. I'm going to go to one of my restaurant days where my
you had
front of
somebody who
house
was literally a
manager,
potato working
my front of
for you.
house manager was not the smartest, and my kitchen staff always said she was as dumb as a potato. They started calling her potato, and they would hide potatoes around the host stand in the restaurant for her to find. Mostly because when she would find one of the host stands, she'd hold it up, look back towards the open kitchen, and go, "Potato?"
Oh.
Not always proud of some of the things that would happen, but that one was a bit on the funny side. So his dad was a deacon, his grandfather was a priest. There's really only one logic direction that he's going to go, except he didn't at first, right? So Patrick's Confessios all starts with I, Patrick, a sinner, a most simple countryman, the least of all the faithful, and the most contemptible. So Patrick was not even considered himself Christian in the beginning. And it wasn't until in age 16, I think this part here is something that's already known to most people, and that is the fact that he was kidnapped and taken to Ireland as a slave.
But with the whole contemptible thing, you know what they say about son of a preacher man.
He's the only one that can ever teach me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get to that. So he was not a faithful man. He really didn't. It's not that he didn't fully believe in God, and I wouldn't necessarily claim him to be pagan. He was just kind of there.
Well, and I think when you have a lineage of priesthood too, like they all seem more faithful than you, obviously, because they're clergy.
Yeah.
So when you're just like whatever, and you're just going through it, and you're like, yeah, sure, God's a thing, Jesus, sure, got it, but you're not like gung ho for Jesus, like I can see where you'd be like, yes, I'm not faithful at all, and I'm contemptible because you're not like putting yourself on a fucking spit to get roasted.
Yeah. So, and then that's kind of the thing. He's comparing himself to his clergy family. There's also the fact of, kids rebel, teenagers rebel.
Yeah.
And religion is one of the first places where they rebel. Then at the same time, add into it, when he's writing this, he's an older man. He's an older man who has now dedicated his life to God. He's on his way to sainthood.
Right.
He's an extremely faithful and pious person. So his questioning teenage self is going to look extremely contemptible.
Is this the religious comparison to looking back at your like middle school pictures and wondering why the fuck parachute pants were a thing?
Listen, there's a whole lot of my classmates are probably looking back at their middle school pictures wondering why they got perms and teased their hair as much as they did.
That's what I'm saying.
I definitely look back at some that are older than that and wonder why the heck my parents put me in neon green and orange short socks combos.
Okay, but did they do that, or was that your color blindness not seeing what colors you were throwing on from the closet?
That was like elementary school age, man. My parents were buying all my clothes. I had no say in anything. If it was my color blindness, I'd be mixing and matching. It would be an orange top and a green. Actually,
I'm just saying, I buy normal outfits for our kids, and they somehow turn them into nonsense.
Okay, that's true. That's true. Our kids definitely have a sense of style. Put it mildly.
Yeah.
Especially the youngest.
They have a voice. That voice shouldn't always be used sometimes, but it's fine. They can express
Looking at
themselves.
you, youngin'.
I have to keep telling them not to wear the serial killer t-shirts to school.
I don't know if I support that.
Well, okay, not the serial killer ones. The ones from X. I kind of feel like if anybody in school knows what those movies are, I'll be getting calls about what I allow my children to watch, which they've never seen it yet.
Okay, that's fair.
They're
That's fair. Yeah, that's some Uncle Jake's movies that will not be.
a little inappropriate for an
Yeah.
8-year-old.
All right, stop getting me off track there, lady.
Sorry, age 16,
So age
kidnapped.
16, he gets kidnapped and sold to slavery in Ireland, and he was there for a good number of years. He ended up tending flocks and overwatching them in the fields, and this is where Patrick says he really found his faith. And it was God that talked to him on the hillside, letting him know that, hey, this isn't going to be all your life is. You're going to get away. You're going to be able to run, and you're gonna be able to go home. And I'm going to tell you when it's time to do that.
The amount of time people find faith on a hilltop. If you want to stay atheist, don't go mountain climbing.
Don't go mountain climbing. And it's not necessarily just religion. Reiki was found.
Yeah, that's what I'm
on the
saying. Like
hilltop also. Yeah,
Reiki, like the times people find spirituality on a hilltop, if you don't want it, don't go climbing
don't
hills.
go climbing hills. Don't go chasing mountaintops. Uh, so yeah, in all, during about 6 year time frame, he received two messages. And like I said, the one was soon you'll depart for your homeland, and the second one was the ship is ready. Now it's time to go. So Patrick plans his escape, and he makes it free from the farm and the village and the clan that he was taken into, and he made it to the port. And he finds a ship that's about to set sail. And I'm in. I wish I could find more on who that boat was. All it states is that they were barbarians.
Okay, so that could be literally
Could be
anything.
literally anything. At first, I was like, "Oh, well, maybe that means he found passage with the Vikings." So I looked it up. In the time, it just meant anybody that's not from Roman-controlled
Yeah, it's just
populations.
not Roman control
Yeah,
population.
yeah. So it could have been anyone from Ireland. It could have been anyone from it could be Scotland. It could have been the Vikings. It could have been anybody.
Yeah, it could be been a Germanic tribe. It could
Yeah,
have been somebody from the Iberian Peninsula in
yeah,
Spain. Like,
yeah. So he goes to them and he asked for passage, and they said no. So he goes off and he stays roughly in the port area, and he pretty much hits his knees and starts praying and praying and praying. And finally, the captain finds him again, or sends somebody out to come get him and said, "All right, come on, you can come with us." Um, a deal was made, and the wording's a little awkward, but essentially it's like, you don't try to convert us, and we're not going to try to use you for fun, kind of a deal. So that ship eventually set sail. Um, they did have some problems on this journey. Everybody starts starving. The food is not around anymore. Um, and they start essentially mocking him. Like, oh, if your God's so great, why don't you pray to him? And he did, and things turned around for the crew. And that's where his first initial conversion started to happen. They saw him praying, and then all of a sudden, like, boom, okay, it didn't go into what food they found. I'm assuming they went, they fished and found like a big school, or they came across another boat.
they got a
And,
rainstorm and were able to collect
yeah,
fresh
yeah,
water.
something like, something happens where they're like, oh, shit, okay. Right. So that's where his first conversions started happening. Unfortunately, these guys don't end up landing where they're supposed to, and they all get taken captive again. So Patrick ends up being a slave for a second time. Thankfully, this one was for only about 2 months. Early into the captive, he has a dream. He gets another message that says, "In 60 days, you're going to be rescued." So that time comes, and on the 60th night, he is rescued from these new barbarians, and he's able to finally, after a couple of years, and this is years after they left port,
Yeah.
make it home to his family, and the people rejoice.
Huzzah.
Huzzah to the tapa! Uh, so now that he has made it back home, he's understanding his faith. He's learning and he's growing. He's trying to become clergy at this point, and he kind of has this understanding that what he's going to do is he's going to go back to Ireland and he's going to help the good people of Ireland and convert them to Christianity.
Dickhead.
You know, it's funny you said because there was actually a line in here when he called them all barbarians, like dickhead. I took it out. Thank you for adding it back in.
You're welcome.
Um, so while he was in all his training, while things were going on before he goes back to Ireland, the local clergy turned on him. They weren't too happy with him, and they found a past discretion, and that
Indiscretion.
sorry, past indiscretion, and that is what they kind of come after him for. Any early guesses on what
He,
an indiscretion can be done by
he
a
was
future
banging
saint?
somebody.
Mm, 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 mm.
He was getting that dick wet.
We got the tea coming. Man, that's later on then. And it wasn't looking good for him. And he's a bit depressed. But his one buddy was like, "Bro, don't worry. I have your back. I will always make sure to speak your name well. I think you should be the next bishop for Ireland, or just the next bishop that we have coming up. I'm going to keep talking your name. I'm going to keep hyping you up. We're going to keep getting there, right?" During all this going on, the Lord spoke to him and essentially called him to task for being mopey and whiny, and essentially said, like, "Listen, it happened. It's in the past. I forgive you. Stop sulking. Go, go do what you're supposed to be doing here,
You're being a
because
self-centered little
you're being a
bitch.
self-centered little bitch, and I have more important things for you to do than that." Right. So his faith once again becomes stronger. He comes up and formulates the plans of what all is going to be going on. He starts heading back to Ireland. Now, after he left Britain, this is when the knife really gets stabbed into his back. That childhood friend who made promises of, "Hey, I think you should be a bishop, and I'm going to be your biggest fan, and we're going to do all this stuff." All of a sudden, now in public, is talking a whole lot of shit. He is running Patrick down. He's telling all this stuff. Um,
Did Patrick break up with him?
I don't know. But when it came time, guess who got named bishop?
His buddy?
His buddy, who real quickly turned on their friendship for Stennis.
Yeah, well,
I like to think I wouldn't do the same, but I suppose in those days, if all of a sudden,
it kind of seems
especially
like,
life,
yeah, it kind of seems like life kind of sucked if you weren't rich, and even then it kind of sucked. So,
yeah, but it was a little less sucky.
yeah, at least if you were a dude.
If you were a dude, anyway, yeah. There was really no unsucky, unless you're like the queen,
No,
and
even
even
then,
then, it's not that great. Like you're
no.
still lower than like a peasant dude. But at least, like as far as women go, you have it easiest.
You're a little more comfortable.
A
That's
little bit
it.
more. Well, so you have to put on like all those 18,000 layers of garbage. So while all that's going on, he starts sitting in and preaching the word of God and educating. Here's the word again: the barbarians. At this point, we know we're talking about Ireland. Um,
Oh,
and
look,
it's
colonizers calling anyone that's not them a barbarian.
yeah, yeah,
Nothing's changed in
nothing.
literally 2,000 years.
1,500 ish. Let's hope in the next 500 it changes. I'm not going to hold my breath,
Yeah, I'm not holding my
but I'm going
breath.
to keep my fingers crossed. Um, So here is where some of the things start falling away. So the way he would preach and the way he would do it is he would go to the leader of the specific area, whether it was a clan leader or one of the kings, and he would actually pay to be allowed to speak. So
I think we need to bring that back.
right,
Let's make religions pay to proselytize to us.
yeah. I don't know if I would do. I don't think I would disagree with that.
At least in public. You do it in your building, that's on you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Like
not saying go ahead and fully tax them.
but like all the people that you see with like weird Jesus signs sitting on the side of the road,
Mm-hmm.
screaming at like abortion clinics and stuff, let's make them pay for it.
I'd be down with that. I'd be way down with that. I think that's a
Yeah.
good idea. But so that's how he initially got his word out there. Um,
Can you imagine if like Mormon missionaries had to like give you $5 to knock on your door. That would be fantastic.
They can knock on my door every day.
Yeah, I'd be like, thank you. I will order a pizza today. Thank you.
So yeah, so he paid for the right to be able to be there to speak and to convert, right? So there was no um forcible, there was no fight. They weren't enemies, but they weren't friends. These are business acquaintances essentially.
Yeah.
And that's how he did most of his workings. That's how he got most of his conversions. Is through these stories or through these speaking engagements, answering of questions, pointing out the lores and the stories and all that stuff that goes along with Jesus in the Bible. In his own words, he always wondered if he did enough for God and for the church. To me, this shows, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion amongst um, the pagan communities. To me, this tells me that Patrick is or was sincere. He wasn't there doing it to be an asshole. He wasn't there doing it
For his own personal
power.
power or greed.
Normally people who are in things for the right reason will always question if they did enough, if they were good enough, if they helped enough. They're looking for was it enough? Whereas when it's the other way around, it's how do I get more?
Touche.
Right? So I'm going to go out on the limb and say flat out, St. Patrick was at the very least, I mean, he might still have been an asshole, right? He called them barbarians. They're savages. They're, all this stuff. Uh, but his heart was in the right place. He didn't force anything. He didn't use violence. He was genuinely assuming and thinking that he was helping these people. So I can give a little hat to,
A little
nod of the hat
grace, at
to him, a little
least.
grace to it, a little bit there, just so you know that's being villainized. Because if that's all he did, I see nothing wrong with that.
It's nothing more than missionaries to this day. Actually,
Right.
less impactful than a lot of the missionaries this day
Mm-hmm.
do when they go to Africa, the Caribbean, and things. And
Yep. So now we're looking at the brief history, the broken down history of how he got to where he was. So let's look at the hagiography. Hagiography. Am I saying that right?
I have no idea.
Okay. Hagiography. That's how we're going to say it. It's the last time I'm going to say it. And all the sensationalization of St. Patrick. Now, we ask what this giant H word, hagiography, is. Well, this is a telling of the life and the stories of saints. All right.
They're too special for a word like biography.
Yeah.
But I
which
do
essentially
appreciate that
is.
it has hag in it.
Got to find a silver lining everywhere, right?
Yeah.
This is where we really start seeing things go cattywampus. This is where a lot of things start coming into play that are still used and said and looked at today. So the first one, we're looking at a book that came out called The Life of St. Patrick. And this was by Macu McThenny. I'm butchering these names, people. There's no way around it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I honestly thought it said Machu Picchu for a minute. Like, I was like, what?
Let me spell it out for you. You can see how this is. The first word is Miurchu. The second is Maccu, and then Mactheni. Right. So this book, The Life of St. Patrick, was written in the 7th century. So we're looking 200 years after Patrick's death. Okay. Now, this book claimed that he cursed and killed anyone that defied him. Right? He would use God's power to crush the druids, and crush the druids' skulls, and called up earthquakes to kill others. There's even a story that Patrick turned himself and his followers into deer so that they could escape the treachery of the pagans.
I want to know what mushrooms that guy was eating.
Right? This is how things get sensationalized, people. 200 years later. This guy obviously didn't read the Confessio, but he sure had some great stories to tell. Thank you so much for joining us for our first episode of season 2. Come back next time in 2 weeks on March 22nd as we complete our deep dive into St. Patrick. We'll see you then.
It's on you now. You have the knowledge. Do with it as you will. Until next time, the conclave has concluded.